Hello friends, I am Professor Saili Rathod. Today I am here to present a next video about the electrical measurement techniques. The subject is of Electronics and Electrical Department having the subject code 203. In this video, we are going to cover the topic dynamic characteristics of measuring instrument. This subtopic is a part of first unit, that is measurement and instrumentation theory. Okay, so in the previous lecture, as we know that we have studied the static characteristics of measuring instrument. Also we have seen what is the basic measurement systems and instrumentation theory. So moving to the next slide. Here we have listed the previous topics that we have covered in the previous video. We have seen the static characteristics. What are the different static characteristics? Static error, accuracy, precision, sensitivity, reproducibility, hysteresis, drift, and dead zone. All these are the different static characteristics. From all these static characteristics, some are desirable and some are undesirable characteristics of a measuring instrument. Now, what is desirable and undesirable? The characteristics which are good for that measuring instrument are called as the desirable, means which give the positive response for that instrument are called the desirable characteristics, and the static characteristics which should be low or which are not required or which are not positive for that instrument are called as the undesirable characteristics. So all these are discussed in the previous lecture one by one in detail. We have seen the definitions, the formulas, and everything about each point. And the today's topic is dynamic characteristics. So as in the previous lecture, the static characteristics we have discussed. So what is static characteristic? If while measuring anything, any physical quantity in an instrument, the output of that instrument varies abruptly or which changes with time, then the characteristic is called the if the output does not vary with time, then it is called as the static characteristic. And opposite to that, in dynamic characteristics, where the characteristics changes with time abruptly, then it is called as the dynamic characteristic. Now the dynamic characteristics. The dynamic characteristics of a measuring instrument refer to the case where the measured variable changes rapidly. What does it mean when we are using any instrument for measurement? For an example, if we are using a weighing machine and we have given the input of physical weight to that machine, but the measured variable changes rapidly with time, then it is the dynamic characteristic of that instrument. There are different types of dynamic characteristics. They are listed below, like dynamic error, speed of response, fidelity, lag. All these are the dynamic characteristics. From all these dynamic characteristics, some are desirable and some are undesirable. As in the static characteristics also we have seen, some are desirable characteristics, some are undesirable. So let us move to the next slide, where we have discussed about the desirable and undesirable characteristics. Here we have shown that desirable characteristics are speed of response and fidelity. As from the name itself, speed of response means how fast the measurement system responds to the input. This characteristic is good for that system. Therefore, it is a desirable characteristic. And similarly, the fidelity. It is also, if the fidelity is high or good, then it is a positive characteristic for that measuring instrument. Now, moving to the undesirable characteristics, the dynamic error and lag. From the name itself, we can see it is a type of error. Any type of error is not desired for that measurement system, or which is not good for any measuring instrument. So, dynamic error is also an undesirable characteristic. And lag. What is meant by lag? Not about the subject, but in general, lag is a concept means which is lagging behind. We say many times lagging behind, or being behind is a concept that is lag, which is not good. It is a negative characteristic. So for the measurement instrument also, lag is a undesirable characteristic for that measuring instrument. So here we can see the three different types of dynamic characteristics. First one is dynamic error. The difference between the true value of the quantity to the value shown by the instrument is called the dynamic error. Means if the actual value shown by the instrument and the true value of that quantity are not same, then it is a dynamic error. In simple words, if we are on the weighing machine, we have kept any physical weight of 50 kgs, but it is showing 50.5 or it is showing 60. It means there is some difference between the actual weight of that quantity and the value which is shown by that instrument. So obviously the instrument is not reading the actual value of that physical quantity. It is showing some error. So this type of error, if it is occurring or it is changing with time, then this characteristic of that instrument will be called as the dynamic characteristic. Then the second one is speed of response. From the name itself, we can see the speed of response means how fast or how speedily the instrument responds to the input. It is called the speed of response. So the speed of response can be said that rapidity with which instrument responds to the changes in the measured variable. Means if the changes in the measured variable are measured that much rapidly by the instrument, then it is the speed of response. Then the third dynamic characteristics is fidelity. The degree to with which instrument responds to the changes in a measured variable without dynamic error. Okay, so this concept is called as the fidelity, which is a dynamic characteristic of that instrument. Then the next point is lag. Lag is an undesirable characteristic of the measuring instrument. As we have discussed previously, that lagging behind means we are not getting the output on time. It means the instrument is lagging behind. So the same concept here we have discussed, that delay in the response of the instrument to the measured variable means the delay which is occurring while measuring any physical quantity is called as the lag. This is an undesirable characteristic of that instrument. And the last one, that is last point of the dynamic characteristics, is span. The minimum and maximum values of a quantity for which an instrument is designed to measure is called its range or span. Okay, so minimum and maximum values of the quantity, what it is. For an example, if there is a temperature measuring instrument, now we know that the temperature measuring instrument, it can measure only up to 200 degrees. From 0 to 200 degrees means the range of that measuring instrument is from 0 degrees, which is a minimum quantity, minimum value, and 200 degrees, that is the maximum value which can be measured by that instrument. Then this span is this difference between these values is called as the span of that measuring instrument. Okay, so this is very easy concept, and all the characteristics, dynamic characteristics, are very easy to understand. So today we have finished with the dynamic characteristics of the measuring instrument. Thank you. See you in the next lecture. Till that, keep studying.